Alright guys, so today we're going to be talking about something a little scary. We're going to be changing things up today. We're going to be talking about some ghost stories and ghost related art. So recently I've been doing some research on my own. I have always been fascinated with Ed and Lorraine Warren, and they're both parapsychologists, and they do ghost, like they help with ghosts. So they're paranormal investigators. Anyways, I looked into Ed Warren, who is Lorraine Warren's husband, and he is an artist, and he takes hauntings and then he makes them into his own paintings. Some information for you guys, because if you don't know who Ed and Lorraine Warren are, I am here and more than happy to tell you about who they are. So over the last 50 years, Ed and Lorraine Warren have become the most influential people in America in parapsychology. Also, they're known as the best experts in demonology. So, you know, they know a lot about demons. They've also helped solve some of the most diabolical cases with demons and with ghosts. Cases where priests become possessed. Cases where people are physically attacked. Cases where inhuman spirits manifest. Also cases where the spirits just don't haunt the house, but they utterly tear it apart. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So you guys know who Ed Warren is, what he looks like. Here's a picture. So Ed Warren was in the Navy. He was in World War II. When he returned home, he met his lovely wife, Lorraine Warren, and they had a kid, and he then went off to school. And he went off to school for art. Long story short, the art teachers really didn't teach him all too much as he thought, and so he just took it into his own hands. Started just painting on his own and doing it by himself. So what he would do is him and Lorraine would go around the town and start sketching houses, and he would start drawing and painting houses. So it was through these paintings that both Ed and Lorraine Warren got themselves into these haunted houses and to paranormal investigating, along with Lorraine Warren also being a psychic and being able to communicate with the dead and see auras and lights, and that's another story. So through his art, he got to portray some of the cases he has been on. He got to show the public eye what it is he does. And some of these cases that he has done in the past are some of the most infamous, which are like Annabelle, the Amityville Horror, and the Shadow Doll. These three things among the many are quite terrifying, and I don't know how he does it. Now, I have been through a lot of paranormal experiences within my past 21 years. My parents don't ever believe me. So it's great. It's great when you say, you know, you heard a scary demon and they're just like, "You lying!" And then I'm just like, "No, I'm not." Help. So because I am an artist and I feel like I should pay homage to Ed Warren, I will be drawing or probably painting one of my own paranormal experiences. I will be painting one of my paranormal experiences. So I hope you guys enjoy it. And throughout me painting it, I will tell you what's happening and what happened during that incident. So let's begin with this scary story. So I grew up in a small city called Lakewood in California. I lived there for the majority of my childhood years, so about 14, 15 years. Growing up in that small home, it was very compacted. I had a little brother and sister, and we both shared the same room. Now, my siblings and I have always said that this house was haunted. My parents had never really believed us ever, but we always believed it was haunted, and we still continue to believe that that house is haunted. We would see all sorts of stuff, from crazy apparitions to dark black shadows to things touching us in our sleep to really ridiculously crazy nightmares that honestly a little kid who's 10 or 8 or 4 should not be able to have. So there was one night when my cousins came over and we were playing in our backyard, and we loved to play in our backyard, and it was during the summertime, so it was a mix between it being not too hot and it being not too cold, so it was perfect weather. It started getting dark and my cousins went home, but you know, my siblings and I kept playing, and we just stayed in the backyard all night. Now, there's one part of the house that we've always veered from, and that was a side of the house, and that was the way to get to our washer and dryer and into our garage. Now, I still feel the same way, and my siblings still feel the same way too, that there was something in that garage, something very dark and malevolent, something very not welcoming, and always going to go get laundry or going to get anything out of the garage on that side of the house was the most terrifying and scariest thing to do, and we'd always ask if either one of us could tag along so we wouldn't go alone. My parents again thought we were crazy and thought we were just making shit up and that it was just all in our head, but there was something there, I promise you that. So we were playing late that night, and we were playing hide and seek, and I think I was counting. Hey guys, I'm sorry to interrupt you watching this video, but I have some crazy freaking news. When I was painting earlier, I heard something growl, and I thought it was my brother downstairs messing with the dogs, but it turns out it wasn't. And I didn't think too much of it just because I was so into painting. When I was editing the video, I played it back, and you can faintly hear it, but I remember when I was painting, I could hear it really loudly. I just thought it was my brother messing with me. I didn't think too much of it. You okay? Jake? Now that I have confirmation that it did happen, and my brother was in his room asleep and the dogs were outside at that moment, then I don't know! My life's pretty great. Anyways, let's finish with this story. And my little brother and sister were hiding, and it's a pretty big backyard. There's a couple bushes, there was a tree, there was some plants that we were growing, like tomato bushes, so really tall, big plants that you can easily hide in. So I counted to 10. I went on the search for my siblings. So I searched everywhere I could. Of course I couldn't find them. And I know the one place I know my brother probably would hide would be in the garage. Probably because it was the most scariest place in the entire house, and that would be the last place you'd ever want to look. So I headed to the garage. When I came around the corner to the side of the house, that was when I saw it. I saw a black figure standing in the window, and I thought it was my brother, but it was not my brother. And then above our house were these tall black figures that I really couldn't make out, and they were really malevolent. Nevertheless, I ran away calling for my siblings to come out because I gave up, and both of them came out from the other side of the house next to my next door neighbors where the trash cans were. And I asked my little brother and Macy if they were ever in the garage, and they both said no. No one has been in the garage. So I got really worried, and I told them what happened. All three of us ran to the side of the house, peeked around the corner, and nothing was there. Of course, nothing was there, but this is just one occurrence of the many I've had at this place, and probably one of the most scariest. I've had many scary stories at this house, and I can go on for days about all the paranormal experiences I have experienced at the house in California. But that was probably one of the first I remember recalling where all three of us were scared together. Nevertheless, I don't live there anymore. I don't know who lives there, but whoever does live there, I hope they don't experience the same stuff I've been experiencing, especially when it comes to ghosts and the paranormal, because it is no joke. I hope that story didn't freak you out too much. I do apologize if it did.
But that was all purpose of this video.
If you guys would like to see more about Ed and Lorraine Warren, they do have a website. It's called www.warren.net, and you can see all their cases and more information about them both as parapsychologists and as paranormal investigators. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and share, and I will see you guys later. Be careful when playing with demons and with ghosts. You shouldn't even be playing with demons and ghosts. Why did I just say that? Don't play with paranormal. Don't.